What's up, YouTube? Robbie Vape's back again, and today we are checking out the Divergent tank. So stay tuned. That is right, YouTube. Today we are checking out the Divergent tank by Smowell. I hope I'm saying that right. Smowell, Smowell. I'll probably put a little thing down here. You know what I mean. Anyways, guys, we're checking out the Divergent tank. It's a sub-ohm tank. It comes with two coils. One of them is a 0.5 ceramic coil. The other one is a 0.5 stainless steel, 316L stainless steel, I should say, stainless steel coil. So yes, the stainless steel can be used in temp control. Ceramic, it's hit and miss. The interesting thing about the ceramic coil in this one is it's ceramic and canthal. Now I'm curious to see what it looks like. I'm going to take one apart for you guys. I haven't done that myself, so it's going to be a new experience for both of us, or for all of us here. Let's all just join in as a group. It's going to be a new experience for every one of us here. And we're going to find out what's actually inside the coil, what it looks like, things like that. The coil I'm going to be taking apart, I've actually been vaping on for over a month now. And I will confirm, much like ceramic's known for, it will last a long time. I've been putting some pretty harsh juice through that thing and has not given up at all. The flavor is still great. And overall, I guess the best way to summarize this tank, for me personally, is that I hate that I love it. And yes, I said it the right way. Not that I love that I hate it or anything like that, but I hate that I love it. And what I mean by that is I really like this tank despite two pretty big flaws in my mind. And somehow, I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's a flavor. I don't know if it's the fact that I've been vaping on a coil for over a month now with no issues. Well, there's an issue, but we'll get to that again. But anyways, whatever the matter is, for some reason, I'm really liking this tank, and I just can't put my finger on why it is. There's nothing super special about it that really sets it apart from any other tank on the market. Yeah, it's got the ceramic coil and it's got the canthal built in apparently, which again we'll see later on, but something about it is just, it hits right for me. It's a mid wattage tank, so you're looking at about 50 to 60 watts on the high end. I would say 40 to 50 watts is the minimum you're going to need to run this thing. I tried running it on the mini volt and it just wouldn't do it. It needs that extra wattage, especially with the ceramic coil in there. The stainless steel, on the other hand, runs really well between 35 and 45 watts. And anything above 50 watts, you are going to get a burnt hit, and it's just going to be an absolute horrible experience if you go above that 50 watt mark with the stainless. Now, if you use stainless in temp control, it's a much better experience, and you do get a great flavor from it as well. Interestingly enough, this is the first tank that I can actually honestly say I prefer ceramic over stainless. And I know, hold on, guys. Hold the phones here. All right, yes, I said that. This, for some reason, the ceramic coils, I love it. I used the stainless steel. I used it in temp control. I enjoyed it. I used it in wattage mode. I burnt it. Anyways, I tried to push it as high as I could for you guys to see how high it really would go. 50 watts is definitely the maximum. Don't exceed that on the stainless steel one if you are using it in power mode. The ceramic coil, on the other hand, performs great in power mode, or wattage mode if you want to call it that, whatever you want to call it. And overall, it's just been a great experience at a mid-level tank. And I never thought I'd say that. But here it is. This is the mid-level tank. So, pros and cons. We're going to start with the cons. There's two of them that come to mind right away. The first one, it's bottom fill. I know. I'm with you guys. Bottom fill, come on, guys. It's 2016. Why don't you have a top fill? And what's worse is there's a little gap around the top that I think is a design thing. I don't know if it's a flaw or if it's a machining issue. It looks like it's part of the design. But the point is, the little thing on the top looks like it would be top fill, but someone like glued it together so it doesn't come undone. So you have to use bottom fill. And I looked at the instructions, of course, and it is bottom fill. They don't say anything about top fill. So if something like this was designed to be top fill and they just changed their mind or something, this is actually a bottom fill tank. And the best way to compare it as far as bottom fill goes, anyone who has owned a Delta 2, I know we're going a little bit back in time right now, but the Delta 2, anyone that remembers the biggest issue with that was the sidewall and the chimney were very close together, or the bell housing were very close together. So it was very hard to get juice down the sides of it. This is a very similar experience. It's a little bit bigger than that, but not by much. The second con, however, this is more of an observation, and it's kind of a con, but it wore off after a while. I found with both coils, the first two tanks, maybe even the first three, honestly, I got nothing but spit back. I was literally drinking juice. That's how bad it was. This was like a straw for me. So it was really bad at first. And I mean, of course, you're breaking it in as well, the coil, of course, and you're going lower wattage, which might explain some of it. But even once I got to that comfort zone of that 50 to 60 watt range, especially on that ceramic coil, I was just drinking juice nonstop. Now the good thing is, once you get past those 2 or 3 tanks, which might take some people, you know, a day to do, some might take other people a week to do, you do get a great lifespan on the coil. And on top of that, we're going to find out just how great it is when we take it apart, how dirty it is. I've probably run through 25 to 30 tanks through this coil that I'm going to take apart for you later on. So it's definitely been well used. It's been lasting like crazy. And honestly, like I said, I've had it for a month now. And as far as the leak test goes, I didn't do one, but I left it out for probably 2 days without using it over a weekend. I think it was 2 weekends ago I did that. And full of juice, full tank, not one drop leaked out. And it's interesting because I thought it would have. Knowing that it was spitting back so much when I first got it, I would have thought that would have leaked through the coil or something and gone through the airflow holes, which were wide open, by the way, when I left it open, when I left it out. And it didn't leak. So the cons, of course, going back to them, you know, no, it's bottom fill. It's a con for me, unfortunately, and it does leak. Or sorry, it doesn't leak. It does spit back juice. I need to be more specific this time. Anyways, so those are the cons. The pros, on their hand, you have great flavor from both coils, especially the ceramic one, so I find. You have good vapor production at 50 watts. It's a bit above average. I wouldn't say it's anything extraordinary or anything underwhelming. It's kind of right there. It's just at average, maybe a little bit above average for the vapor production. It does have a standard size drip tip as well, although the drip tip has a little gap, like a little chimney type thing that you put the drip tip in. You can put any standard size drip tip in that thing, but it just makes it look weird. I almost would have preferred a flush top cap kind of thing, so there's nothing sticking out. But I'm getting picky here. I'm not going to list as a con because now I'm just being super finicky. The other big pro on this is the actual stainless steel wrapping around it, and it is stainless steel and it wraps around the glass, so it protects glass from falls. I've dropped this thing a couple times. I may even have to put it through like a breaking mods test to really test the durability of that, but it is wrapped up nicely, and at the same time, even though it's well protected, it's also very easy to see your juice levels. So you're not stuck trying to figure out where your juice levels are like you were in, say, the Delta 2. Now, again, if you don't know what the Delta 2 is, go look it up if you need to. You'll know exactly what I mean. Hopefully it rings a bell for some of you guys. But that's what it reminds me of it as far as the functionality of it and the actual construction of it to a certain degree. The next biggest pro, and this is a little one for some people, but it's a very big one for me. The airflow control has stoppers, meaning instead of when you're trying to take a tank off your device, or when you're trying to open it up to get to the coil or whatever, usually some of them will actually keep spinning around and around and around the airflow control ring, and it never stops. These ones have stoppers in place, so it's very easy to take the bottom off there, and of course that's a good thing with it being bottom fill. So now we've talked about the pros and cons. Let's just get down and dirty with the Smowell Divergent. Check it out. Then we'll do that coil tear apart afterwards, like I said I would. And then after that, we'll go back up top, talk about price and all that good stuff after that. So what do you say? We get down and dirty with the Smowell Divergent tank. All right, YouTube, we are down and dirty with the Divergent tank. Here it is. It does come in 2 colors, black and white. They're both like a matte color. You'll see what the black one looks like. I already gave away the white one, actually. I did get 2 of these. One of them was given away on Project F.O.G. Anyways, now that we've got that out of the way, let's look at the tank itself. Here's how it comes. And just as I said, it doesn't leak. It looks like it leaks. So scratch that thought. It is a leaker. That's actually the first time it's leaked on me. I don't know if I just put it in wrong. That might be the case, but it looks like it's leaking pretty badly here. So keep that in mind, guys. You can see it just like pouring out right now. That is not good. I may have put that on wrong, but I'm going to assume that it might be leaking as well. Anyways, back to the box. So again, we're going to assume it does leak. I'm going to put that as a potential con, but we'll get to the tank later on and see if I did anything wrong. Last time I put it away. We also get a spare stainless steel coil, and the ceramic coil does come pre-installed in here, which is what I'm using right now, and it's the same ceramic coil I got from day one. This is actually a brand new stainless steel coil. I already used up the other one, and this is just the actual one they gave me. They actually gave me a whole pack of coils. I think they gave me like 3 of them, 2 more ceramics that I have, so that's going to last me a while, and then plus 1 more stainless steel. So that's the box. Going on to the instruction manual, the user manual. Here we can see the e-liquid filling steps. In other words, it's bottom fill. Take it off, unscrew it, take it out, fill it up from the sides, and again, they have a needle nose bottle right here, which is what you're probably going to want to use if you can. Then, of course, put it back together, and you're good to go. Here are a few specs right here. Again, the size of the tank, the weight, the material, stainless steel and glass. Capacity is 4 mil capacity. You also have your coils. Here's the coils down here, if you can see those right down there. Those are the two it comes with. As you can see, NTCC, Canthal A1 ceramic, 30 to 60 watts recommended, and the stainless steel is 15 to 50 watts, or in temp control as well. 510, adjustable, blah, blah, blah. That's the instruction manual. Now, moving on to the tank itself. I haven't filled this yet, so actually now that I think about it, that is not from like a freshly filled tank, because I left it empty on purpose so I could actually take this apart. Anyways, 510 connection. As you can see here, do not use this on a hybrid style mech mod. That is not safe by any stretch, as you can clearly tell. But anyways, going back to the top. Let's actually start with the drip tip. Standard size drip tip. That's that little chimney type thing that sticks out that I was talking about earlier. Going back there, like I said, all standard size drip tips will fit in that though. Here's the glass itself. Again, kind of like a little design on here, but it is very easy to measure e-liquid because the glass is very easy to see through. And there's just enough stainless steel around the glass to protect it, but just enough glass showing where you can easily see your e-liquid, no problem at all. Now, removing the bottom here, and like I said before, the airflow does have stoppers. So we're going to remove this, take it apart. Inside here, there's your chimney and your bell housing. Pretty simple. Going back to the coil itself, here we go. We'll take this apart in just a moment. Let's take it out though. It's got one of those flat bottom coil designs that you kind of see where it just barely sticks out. And then there it is down there with the 510 pin right down in there, if you guys can see that, hopefully. And it is filled with juice pretty badly. So I don't know if I screwed this back in wrong or what, but again, it looks like it was leaking, so that is not a good thing. I'm just trying to put this off to the side. Anyway, so that's pretty much the pin and the tank itself. Not really much else to show you guys. So I'm just going to put this on really quick. And this is the first time I'm putting this back together without a coil, by the way. I just want to point that out. So it's not like the coil was not in there and that's what caused the leaking. It was definitely in there, and it definitely does leak a little bit, as we saw. So with that being said, let's put this back together. I'm going to get some paper towel, and then we're going to take this coil apart and see what it looks like inside. All right, we are back. We have some paper towel, and I have my needle nose pliers here. What we're going to do is we're going to take it apart. I'm going to speed this up on camera so you guys don't have to worry sitting through it too long. And afterwards, we will show you the results. So here it goes. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit of it out, as you can see. The issue I'm running into right now is that the coil itself is embedded inside a ceramic layer, which is pretty standard for ceramic coils, but I wasn't expecting to have this much trouble with it. I'm still going to try and reach in there and grab it. I had a big piece I almost got out just a few seconds ago, but I don't know where it went, and it may have broken off. It's basically all coming off in pieces right now. I mean, as far as looking at the cleanness of the coil itself, it's very difficult to see it. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in there, which is disappointing. But there's a coil. It looks relatively clean, but there is a lot of stuff coming out here right now. A lot of ceramic is breaking off. And I'm just going to get a focus maybe on like a little piece here. So you can kind of see how it's all ingrained in the ceramic itself and surrounding the canthal here. It's super, super flaky. And again, that's because I've been picking at it for so long. So that's going to be the coil. I don't think I'm going to go any further than that. Let's go back up top, talk about the pricing and whether or not I recommend this device. All right, guys, we're back up top with the Divergent tank. Before we get to the pricing, I do want to mention one quick thing. First of all, as you saw in the up close section, that was the first time it actually leaked on me ever. So I was a little bit surprised. Is it possible I put the coil in wrong or something when I was adjusting it before this review? It is, but I don't think that was the case. It felt pretty secure in there. There was no issues or gaps when I was unboxing it for you guys, so it definitely was in there. I'm thinking it did leak a little bit. Now, does that ultimately change my thoughts on the tank itself? Well, stay tuned for the end for that, and I'll let you guys know my final thoughts on it. That being said, I will say this. It was actually in my pocket quite a bit on my DNA 200, on my jacket pocket, actually, I should say. And I'd actually take it off, put it in my pocket, and replace it with a Z-Pel tank and switch back and forth between those two tanks throughout the day. And not once did I have any leaking. In fact, I had business cards in that same breast pocket, and there was no issues with it. So that is the first time it's leaked on me. And in a way, I'm actually kind of happy it happened on camera, because usually what happens is it'll go fine, it won't leak on me, and then 3 or 4 weeks after the review, I'll find it pouring out juice. So I will maybe try and do an update on this on my live subscriber appreciation show that I do once a month to let you guys know if it happens again or if it was a one-off case. But with that being set aside, let's talk about pricing. Pricing for this tank is anywhere from $16 US to about $25 US, depending on where you're getting it from. I've found it as low as 16, I've found it as high as 25. Now, if you're outside the US, if you're in Canada like myself, you can adjust pricing accordingly. I haven't seen it on any Canadian websites or European websites yet, and so far that's what I've seen. I didn't do a lot of research. Most of the websites I go to anyways are US. Just it's the easiest one to find for me for some reason. It always directs me to US websites, despite the fact I'm in Canada, so I'm just going to do some US pricing from there, and you can adjust accordingly. Now, that brings us to the last point, and that is, of course, do I recommend this tank? Well, I do, but I'm a little bit hesitant to now with the leaking that has happened. I cannot say for sure that wasn't me, but I will say this. As far as I know, despite the fact it hasn't leaked to me before, that was a pretty big pile of e-juice in there that I was not expecting. And again, that was almost an empty tank in there because I knew I was going to take it apart for this review, so I purposely left it underfilled and very little in there. And maybe that was the issue. Maybe there's too little in there. Maybe that's why it causes leaking. If it's full, it's fine. I don't know. We're being speculative right now, and the main point is, do I recommend this? I still do. I still love the tank. I still love the flavor. I like the vape production. It's that perfect mid-level vape for me, which, again, I have my high-power vape. I have my low-power vape. I've been searching for that really nice mid-level vape, and this one might be it. I am going to keep on using it, and like I said, I will give you guys an update in my live subscriber appreciation day when that one comes around. So, that being said, I do recommend this. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think if you guys have one. I know I already gave one of these away. If you are watching this, let me know if you had any leaking problems, or if you had any problems I didn't address, or anyone else who has already bought one of these, let me know what your thoughts are on it. So, that's the end of the video here. Thank you all for watching, and of course, until next time, YouTube, happy vaping.